So, if you wouldn't mind, tell us about Travis and, you know, how many reps is he getting? Is he getting any first-team looks? What's up with him?
You know, mostly running with the second unit. He's getting a lot of reps. You know, he's the number 4 back right now. We only got 4 scholarship guys, and Choice has been down a couple days with a hamstring. Now he's back, but Travis has been getting a lot of reps, and I tell you what, he's fast, he's quick, has a great feel, natural runner. As a runner, he's probably looked the best in camp so far, just breaking tackles, breaking plays. He's definitely the quickest, and again, he doesn't know anything, so he's just playing ball out there. Now, lining up in pass protection and identifying all those crazy blitzes that Venables is bringing, now he's got a lot of work to do there, but you see him every day. You know, he's flashing as a runner, so we're very, very pleased there, and it's my job to grow him up as a pass protector.
Are we going to see him on Saturdays? I mean, you think he's going to be somebody you can put out there?
You know, we like to carry 5 backs on every trip, and right now he's by default he's a number 4 guy because he's a 4 scholarship guy and he's competing. And if you go just off of production in camp, he's been the most productive in terms of making plays in the run game. Now, is he the most dependable? You know, by far he's not the most dependable because there's just so much he has to learn. The background that he's coming from, option, identifying defense, all that stuff new to him. But he's a quick learner. He's working his tail off. He's a pleasure to coach. He's a practice player. So I'm hoping that he'll be ready once we need him.
First sight of him, he looks a lot like Wayne. Is it just physical, or does his game translate like? You
know, physically he looks like Wayne. He has that number 9, and if you were here when Wayne was a young guy, Wayne was all over the place. I mean, he was violent, he was fast, and he was running hard, and over time he was able to refine his style. Their styles are different. Now, Wayne was a downhill, you know, powerful guy. He could get to the second level, but you know, he just didn't have that third level home run ability. Travis has that all, and he's very, very natural. I'd say that right now at this stage of his career, his eyes are better than Wayne's were when he was a freshman. I mean, he just sees it. I mean, he sees the cutback. You know, he sees the field, and that's just something that you can't teach. So I'd say he's a more natural runner, and they look a lot alike because they're still a little bit clumsy because it's new to them, and now they're up here with the big guys. Everything's moving faster, but I'm very, very pleased with where he's at as a runner.
Yeah, talk about the things that are holding back coming from an offense, but what will help him coming from that option offense to you?
You know, it's just anytime we have those perimeter runs, you know, he's used to that. Also, he can run between the tackles. So just running the football, he's going to be prepared a lot like Wayne was. But Wayne spent more time on defense, and so Travis was an offensive guy where he was refining his skills every day. You know, the biggest challenge is just learning how to identify defense, seeing it from a different vantage point, because now you're in the eye as opposed to being a jet sweep guy or down there in a 3-point stance as a fullback position in the B-back in an option offense. So that's his biggest transition. As a runner, I'm just trying not to mess him up because he's definitely got a ton of natural ability. I think everybody knew that when we recruited him. But now I got to grow him up as a pass protector.
Got a couple other guys that have good hands out of the backfield. How's his hands up?
You know, he catches. He's a lot like Wayne in that regard. Probably a little bit better pass catcher right now than Wayne. No real physical deficiency. He knows how to catch the ball, but just the concentration and just the repetition at it. Because again, he's used to catching pitches or getting handoffs, and now we ask him to run one-on-one routes versus linebackers, maybe catch an over-shoulder ball on a wheel route. So just got to grow.
Tony, you guys have had you and Jeff have had to kind of prove yourself since that very first game against Oklahoma, and then a full season, postseason, rematch. What was it like coming into this season and thinking, okay, now we don't have Watson? I mean, how did that challenge compare with the other ones that you've had?
You know, I wouldn't say that we looked at it from that perspective. That's a core fundamental of our program. We start over every year, so we can't rest on our laurels, and we know each offense is going to pose a new challenge, a new identity, and it's our job as coaches to make sure that we find out what our guys can do. So the challenge is really finding out, okay, who do we have, what is their strong suit, and how can we build the system around them. So, you know, we're a challenge every single year. It doesn't matter if we had Deshaun coming back, because then now you got the target on your back. So it's always going to be a challenge offensively. The biggest thing is for us to take ego out of it and make sure we identify what the guys can do and then go play to their strengths.
He made life easier as an OC. Is that pretty?
You know, later in his career,
yeah.
Just because now he could get to all the answers, and so you weren't having to make sure that you made him right. He was able to make you right, and so you could expand some of your play calls and put more answers into one play call, and he knew where to go with the ball. The good thing is the guys that were around him that have been in the system for a couple of years, especially Kelly, he was privy to that, and so you know he's ahead of the younger guys in understanding that hey, there's a little bit more complexity than hey, we're not just going one spot with the ball, and that's where Deshaun helped us grow as an offense as we transitioned from what Chad Morris was doing to what Jeff and I are doing.
You're going up against a heck of a front seven every day at practice. How's that helped you so far in fall?
You know, that's been all the difference. The last 2 years with us is what we go against every day in practice, so we're never overwhelmed. And we get frustrated at times because Brent does so much. He challenges you every single rep, but we also appreciate it because we know by the time we get to the season, we'll have seen everything that we're going to see throughout the course of the season. There's nothing that we will not have seen in camp. And so it just really, builds confidence over the long run. Each day is a struggle now, but over time we just encourage our guys that, hey, this is preparing us, and then they're going against the best talent as well. And so when they step on the field, even when you play the likes of your Alabama and your Ohio States, they're not going to be overwhelmed because they see that same level of talent, that same level of physicality every day in practice.
It's that iron sharpens iron mentality.
Exactly. And that's the core fundamental of our program, and Coach talks about it all the time. On our practice field, if you don't show up every day, you're going to get exposed because of the level of detail of the coaching and then also the physical ability of the players.
What have you seen from the tight ends so far this camp?
A lot more consistent here down the stretch catching the ball. Be able to make plays in the passing game from all of them, from JC all the way up to Miles. So really been pleased with their ability to stretch the field and make the plays down the field, and they're giving us what we need in the run game from a physicality standpoint to be able to go two back. So pleased with where we're at. We got to continue to find ways to highlight those guys more, and that's our challenge as coaches.
You said Travis wasn't working. He's working number twos and all, but who's working number ones, and where are y'all at with those other three guys?
So you got Taven right now, and Fuller have been working mostly with the ones because Choice has been out for the last couple of days, so he hasn't had any reps. And I'll sneak Travis in there every once in a while with the first group just to see him run behind that first unit. But we feel so good about our offensive line that we don't feel like there's much of a drop off. So I wanted to challenge him to work there. And right now I'd say Fuller's had a very, very steady camp. Nothing flashy, but he's the most dependable. He's the most dependable in pass protection. He comes to work every single day, and he's made the plays that are there. The difference with Travis and what Travis has been able to do over the rest of those guys is he's been able to find some home runs. And again, sometimes that's due to opportunity. He may be getting the right call at the right time, but right now I'd say you have Fuller running up there number one. You got Taven with a close number two, and then Choice was having a very, very good camp, but he's missed the last week. So hopefully over this next scrimmage and today's practice, he'll be able to make up some ground. And then Travis is a guy that we know what he can do with his hands, with the ball in his hands in the field, but he's got to be able to function without the ball, and that's where he's got to grow up.
Thanks.